What is your will, my master?
Hey, what's up, Eric? Quick demo video for you for your custom Canon Y saber. As you know, I just got this done. I got this in the mail yesterday, actually. I've got a few sabers I'm waiting for parts for, or they're just on hold for one reason or another. So I had an opportunity to jump on this, and so I wanted to get started and actually finished it up today. So um, this installed the Proffie V2 that you supplied. It's got stock V3 MPXLs in here. Now I know you gave me the holder for the MPXLs, but I did a little something different in the neck area, or in the emitter area. I modeled my own PCB holder, and then I had to make it like it serves two purposes really. It's probably not something you're gonna be able to see on camera. You can just barely see it up there on top of your crystal. You had that copper greebly that you had, the crystal. It was sitting on top of the crystal, and then you had some aluminum discs. I went ahead and I got rid of the discs, but I kept that round greebly, and I modeled it into the bottom of my PCB holder. So all that's one piece, and that's why I came to you and asked you if I could drill and tap a small grub screw right here to hold that PCB, and you said that was okay. So that's what I did there, right there, obviously inside the thin neck portion. So you don't want to loosen that. That holds the greebly on the bottom, and then it holds your PCB on top. This is your blade retention, as you know, just a thumb screw, so that's really cool. And then you've got a Noah Drew marble here. You already had the height that you wanted, so I tried to stay true to that. If you can see that there, so it's high enough where the top of the marble is resting up on that greebly, but when it's lit up, the holocron inside that marble is actually squared up to this opening right here. And then you have a glass eye, an aluminum glass eye here from Robert Sotomayor over at Sorok Sabers. And I wanted to do a little something different to light that up since you had both of these openings here. I wanted to do just something unique. So there's actually 2 pixels in the chassis, one underneath the crystal for that main one for the marble. And then I've got a holder coming up. I did have to modify that a little bit, but that's something you'll never see. So that it sat right behind this glass eye. And I programmed this to act like some broken circuitry with a code that my buddy Joe gave me. And then I've got this doing something else. I've only got one font on here. It's a stock font. A copy of the config file is on the SD card. I just did one font, so you could see what I did on the config file, and you could build from that if you wanted to. It's a lot easier just to build from one. So yeah, that's what I did there. This is a 2-button setup, so I made your switches underneath this piece right here. As you know, when this came, it did not have a hole in it for wire path, so I just took a drill bit. I drilled right down here, just right down the middle, so that I could come over to the board. And then I did a lot of sanding on this card so that it fit over the tactile switches, but everything is locked in place now. And as you can hear, everything is clicky clicky, very good. Right, so your front switch is your activation, and then your back switch is your auxiliary here. How to get to everything is you just want to unscrew this guy right here. This is the only place it comes off. I waited till this morning to design the chassis because you and I talked about this design that you wanted on it. So it is on there. Had to put the chassis into the Saber a little bit, so the battery compartment is up inside the Saber a little bit, just so I could save some room and keep your speaker off the inside of the pommel here. You got a 28mm Smuggler's Outpost Elite speaker that you provided. Right, so there's your design right here. Removable battery setup. So spring side is down over here, closer to the emitter. And then it says Solo Sabers over here for me. In Arabesh, I did a few things over here, and then your Proffie board, and then a Smuggler's Outpost emblem right here inside on this shelf right here. This board is just a snap fit down into the shelf like I like to do. So when you need to pop it up to get to your SD card to put fonts on it, don't So don't take it all the way out. Just take a pair of tweezers or something and pop it up diagonally like this. Do what you need to do, and then you could snap it back down into place real easy. There is a lot of wires under here because this is basically wired up like a cross guard, right? So you've got your blade, and then you've got a pixel for your crystal, and then you got a separate pixel for your glass eye, and that's all coming down here. So yeah, that's the easiest way to approach that board right there. All right, so after all that talking, let's throw a battery in it. And then we'll just screw this on. I did add motion controls because I just like to, I think motion controls are cool and it's nice to demo them. But we'll go over both, obviously, the motion controls and the buttons. So everything is a tight fit in this guy, but it fits in great, right? So if we wanted to swing on, got your LEDs in there firing up. Twist off. You can see this thing is super loud, right? I've got your crystal kind of doing like a heartbeat right now, and that's a gold color. And then when the saber gets turned on, it goes to the green color, which is the color of your blade. But then your glass eye back here will do that broken circuitry. So this time I'll use the switch. You can see your glass eye flashing. And then you've got a green marble in there. It's kind of hard to talk over this thing because it's so loud, but some of the blue from the broken circuitry of the glass eye, it shines on the background of the crystal chamber. So you'll get your green for your marble, but then you'll also get the blue flickering on the background. While this remains flashing right here. Right? And we'll put a blade in real quick. This takes a 1-inch diameter neopixel blade. We'll just slide this right in and lock it down. Turn it on. This thing is just super loud. Good flash on flash. Just like that. Now we could swing it on. So you will find these buttons are very nice and tight, but very responsive, and they do have a nice click feel when you hit them. Just like that. And we'll take the blade out and go over taking the battery out, which is super simple, right? So we'll just come back over here and unscrew this again. Pull this right out. If you find it's a little bit tight on the chassis, just go ahead and twist it as you're pulling it out. It'll come right out. And then from the positive side over here by your speaker, you can pop it out with your finger just like that. Now, there are 2 screws. Let me put this back on. There are 2 screws that you pointed out to me on this guy that were not dummy screws, right? They're actual screws. One of them was holding in the black plastic piece that you were holding your marble up with, which I did do away with, by the way. I used both of those screws for chassis retention. So I think you've got like this one right here, and then this small guy right here. Those are both holding in your chassis. Yeah, that's what I did there. As far as the black plastic piece, like I just said, I did throw that away. I kept the metal piece that you had your marble sitting on. I used a little bit of CA glue and I glued that to the metal piece, but CA glue is really nice. If you use it sparingly, it's something that you can never tell is on there. So that's not coming off. And then I modeled that metal piece that it's sitting on right into my chassis. So there's a holder on my chassis for that metal piece, and everything's super solid right there. So yeah, that is pretty much your saber. Let me know if you got any questions, and if not, this guy will go out in the mail tomorrow. All right, thanks.